conversation, though. It was priming us up for the conversation of tonight, I would say.
Yes.
And
Hi, everyone. If you're
I
live or
love,
you're watching the replay, I'm Ravneet from Winds of Reflection. And Hilda, you're on her channel. Of course, you know her.
Nova Scotia's organic to the land. You have arrived. And we are live. We are live.
You're
And
live.
I just want to take a moment to say thank you and welcome. Welcome back. Always always Well, you know what? I won't have to say that because you're just going to be a regular. You know, I like that. I like that, but I always got to say welcome back because I haven't really talked to you, so it's been nice just having that little chat in the green room and catching
Yeah,
up because you've been watching your energies and I've been watching mine and doing what we got to do in
yeah.
order to make it through this shift.
It's
And
a
hello,
pleasure.
Sassy Susie.
Hi,
Hello, hello,
Susie.
hello.
Welcome.
But
Yeah, it's it's been quite a week.
it has.
Uh, but here we are. We show
Here
up.
we are. And you know what? Without, I just want to say this because I have been going live and quite a bit this week due to the fires that are currently raging here in my province. And I haven't. I said that I would come back with an update, and I'm just going to take the time to do that, like right now. So for anyone that is listening to the playback, um, who is not in the chat right now, this is my update because I said that I would come back when there was something new. Well, I didn't come back because not much has changed. And I don't want to keep doing lives and turning this
Mhm.
into some sensational story, to because that's not my gig either. And that's what it started to feel like with me because if I'm going to come back, I'm going to come back with something. And so just to let you all know that the fire is still raging, there are now 4 tankers. I have heard the planes going. And this morning I did wake up to the smell of smoke. We do currently have a very heavy wind going on here right now. So, you know, um, I will say this that all of our rituals, they've got to be working because spirit is definitely keeping me protected. I know I am protected. I know that my ancestors are on board. They are on board now. And whatever is going on, because I still have not seen the fire, I've seen no footage of the fire. I will not continue to speak on the fire, but I do want to leave folk with the mindset of what is going on. Please continue to share it. The information that I have shared with you, and that is the fact that there is something I feel nefarious going on. These are my personal feelings, although you know what, it would seem like the collective strongly disagrees because the collective is feeling that this has been set by lightning. I do not. The collective does not feel that this is about uranium, and I do. So I just want to make that clear. Folk, we are not in Kansas. As I said, keep your head on a swivel. I am. I'm going to continue to keep my head on a swivel. I am going to continue to do my rituals. And you know what? I am not going to silence my voice. I will speak. I'm not just going to be speaking on the fire. I'm going to watch my community from here on in. And I just want to make another note too, to the other day, to the brief live that I did. And I said about calling 911 and, speaking with the dispatch operator and how she said that she was going to be sending someone out to my area. Nobody, not one alarm, not one person came out to my area. I didn't receive not one phone call, no presence at all. Now, what would have happened had that been within my area? I wasn't the only one reporting on that. My whole point being is we're not in Kansas. So I'm just going to leave that right there. And as I said, I will continue to speak because I know that my speaking bothers a lot of people. I'm not here for your likes. I'm not here for your likes. I'm not here for your likes. And hate me or whatever feelings you may feel about me are not my concern. I'm here on assignment and I will continue on my assignment until my last breath. That's who you have in front of you. I'm not scared. I don't come from a place of being scared. Never was. Anyways, I just want to get that out of the way because I didn't come back with a live. And now to get us back into tonight's discussion and take us into a completely different place, we are going to be talking about community. And one of the
Yeah.
reasons why I wanted to do this is because you know what? That seems to be a little bit of a tricky topic today because our communities are going through many shifts of change. We are going through great change on an individual level. What community looks like uh, to you as an individual may have been something that has changed or is different from the people that are around you. Nonetheless, it does take community to make the world go round. It does take the work from the collective. How do we get back to that? So, this is my way of starting a conversation, a much needed conversation, if I might say, because some of us find ourselves outside of a community feeling a lack of community. And then some of us feel like, you know what, hell, I would just much rather be on my own. I'm a loner. However, I don't think that we are meant to be on the island. We are meant to be a part of the island, not just solely on the island. So, without further ado, me and my gal Revneet are going to tackle this discussion tonight, even though our energy is a bit on the low. But we've got some people that showed up into the chat. We got 7 into the chat, and I just want to say hi, hi, hi. Who do
Hi,
we got here? We
everyone.
got Allison, Allison Harton Marion. Hello, Allison. And we've got Deborah Cross. Hello,
Hi,
Deborah.
Deborah. Hi, Allison. Hi,
Spirituality.
Sabrina.
Yes,
There's
Sabrina. Spirituality and Herb is in the house. And Real Freedom Forever, Sassy Susie is in the house. And that is all I can currently see right now. So hello, hello, hello. And for all of you that are, you know what, popping in and out from the back, I'm going to say hello to you. I'm going to even say hello to my haters. I appreciate you. And I'm going to tell you why I appreciate my haters. Because you all let me know I'm doing something right. So you can keep showing up in the back. You can keep doing what you do because it fuels me. I salute you tonight. So we are
love
going to get
that.
into this.
Love that. Yep. Let's go.
Yeah, you got to give them the love too, because they're all a part of the divine plan. We were just talking about that.
Yes.
That you know, people come into our lives to either us teach them something, or we are a part of their breakdown, or you know, a part of
Yes.
them facing a part of their shadow. So you know, um, not everyone is going to react to you. Um,
In a
from a
favorable way,
in
because,
a favorable way. That's right. Some people are just going to
right,
be straight up, you're the enemy. And that's okay.
right. It's okay. Yep. All good. Um, it's a just a disclaimer. This is kind of a triggering topic for me because I have a lot of wounds around community, but I still wanted to learn and participate and, you know, go through this process because it's an important topic, especially in today's times where I think everybody is kind of freaking out in their own way, and we don't have proper tools and resources to handle that. In the past, it used to be these conversations or how to tackle problems used to happen in community, but I think we have somehow lost it in the name of nuclear families, whatever you want to call it, industrialization. But I think, like Hilda mentioned, that the problems that we're trying to solve, um, they need solutions at a collective level. One person cannot. Of course, the ideas can always go and take root, but then the actions, the masculine has to be there, you know, at the collective level.
And I like the fact that you said it can't be done on just one individual level, because we are also at a point in our evolution, or uh, that change process that has happened, is that as an individual, we need to start bringing out the individual leader in all of us. Instead of
Yes.
looking for the leader out there, you got to start leading self, which means we have to start examining our thoughts, leading our own thoughts, not having our thoughts controlled by somebody else. Actually examining the thoughts that we are accepting and ingesting, and do they uh, jive with our core, or are we just accepting, going along to get along? These are the things that we are being
Mhm.
forced to look at, because that shift that just took place not so very long ago, you see, that shift took place throughout the whole planet. So even if your thought process was very much geared one way, you are now looking at things with no other choice, but you're being forced to look at another
Mm,
perspective. Yeah, which means that the very thing that you may have been very locked down in your thinking, and resistant to change, it's being challenged. And it's you may be also noticing, and maybe it's not as secure as what I thought, whatever that is. And when I think about our community, and I think about all the things that keep a community together, and uh, the things
yeah.
that we just very normally go along to get along, and we do not question, these are some of the foundations that are being questioned right now. And so, not only do I think it's important to think about what you're looking at, but I don't like talking just problems. We talk enough problems. We need to start talking about finding solutions. Because when you start talking about a solution to a problem, the problem all of a sudden doesn't seem that big. And I see out there today, there's many, many people talking about the problems that are in front of us, and few people focusing more on the true solution. And I'm just talking about the collective. I'm not talking about your government. I'm not talking, because everyone has an opinion, and everyone has. There's many, many good views and ideas that are out there. But dear God Almighty, how do we harness them? How do we bring them together? How do
Mm.
you do it inside your community? And what does your community look like? So by the time we leave tonight's discussion, I'm hoping that we have a better idea on what your community looks like, how you are invested in that community, and maybe what changes you could help to bring. So I know that that might be a long or big task, but I think it's something that we can certainly dive into, because I did arrange some questions for
You did.
you, Miss Redney. And of course,
Oh,
you know what? I'll
okay.
take them back. Okay.
Also people in the chat, not just for me.
And please, this is an interactive.
This is
When I
a
say collective, that is you.
yes.
So listen, I want this to be as interactive as possible because you are a part of that community. What you think, feel matters. It
Right.
all matters. So nothing too small. I want to hear your thoughts and nothing too small. So
Right.
without further ado, and I got a treat for everyone after we're all done. But that's for
I
later.
l- I love when you take out your notes. It's like so cute. Go ahead. She's ready.
Now I am
Oh,
ready. But
people,
you know what?
beware.
Before I go on, I want to do this too. Did you know that? Well, you don't know because you know what? I didn't even say it to you, but I am a great great auntie. Baby Rhea was born. Don't ask me when, because you know what I
Oh,
found out on
congrats.
Facebook, and that's okay. I'm glad that there was a healthy birth. Congratulations to my nephew and my niece,
Yay.
Leanne and Kerwin. Um, congratulations. Congratulations. Your world will never, ever, ever be the same. And Leanne, great job. Great job. And beautiful baby that you had there.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. I just wanted to share that before we got too deep in and I forgot. We got another curry out there.
Beware, curries are
Yeah.
is the real. Okay, go on.
Beware. Beware. The world should beware. I tell you. Ooh, beware. That's right. You never know what you're gonna get. You never know what you're gonna get. Is it the good one? Or is it the bad one? It's the good
Yeah,
one.
I'm kind of scared, but let's.
Okay. Are you connected to the community you live in? First question. When you think of community, what does that mean to you? And I want everybody to think about that because everyone's going to have a different answer. When you think of community, what does that mean to you? I'm glad you're on the other end. Can I say this? I'm glad I'm the one asking the questions tonight.
You're gonna answer that too, Hilda. You'll not be scared.
I
Trust
will,
me.
I will, I will.
I think at this point, for me, community is all about people um relating to each other as a human. We all feel the same emotions. We all need food, water, we all need the same things. It can look a little bit different here and there, but essentially, as a human, if we can relate to each other, to me, that's a community. And if we can be, you don't have to be the same as me mentally, or you know what I mean? But yeah, I don't know if that made any sense, but like that's what I feel.
Absolutely.
And so when I say community, I can talk to anybody, anywhere. And if I feel they need something that I have more of, either it's time or it's money if I have it, or just time, right? Your presence. I would love to offer that, and I do. Um, Even yesterday, I had a really busy day, and my friend told me she's not really well. Oh, hi, mom. And
Hello.
I did not have time, but when she said she's not okay, I'm like, I'm gonna make time for you, you know? So I think it's showing up for others. I think that's what community means to me, showing up for others,
Yes.
irrespective of your relationship with them. I'm not saying just a warning. I'm not talking about abusive relationships here. It's normal human to human. So you're not enabling anyone here. So that's my answer.
A good answer. Good answer because I align with your answer. And I will also say that no, it's not just for showing up with just anyone. And I just want to make this note that, when we are talking community and we're talking about how much you want to engage, um, let's just talk about everyone being an individual. And if you are blessed enough to perhaps maybe know the people in your neighborhood, I don't want to mess with everybody that's in my neighborhood. And when I think of my community, I think of I'm a watcher. So
Yeah.
I was never, I won't say that I was never. Ever since I have left home, I've always been a part of somebody else's community, having to
Mm.
make it my community. So I've had to watch the people, gauge who I really wanted to uh, align with, and who was about something, and what do I mean? Were they about it? Like, doing what they needed to do, whatnot, and whether or not I wanted to be aligned with that person. So when I think of
Mm.
community, it's I still float the same way, but because of the days that we're living in, it makes that little bit different because I'm floating with a whole lot less people and I need to gauge my people a little bit more. So um, I made
Yeah,
a statement
because
one time.
yeah.
It's about when we say who, what, where, you find the people that are doing. You find your like minded people. And that's what community inside of a community looks like for me. And because of the days that we are living in, I may
Yeah.
not necessarily find my people. So I'll create it. I'll create it, and my people will find me in some way, because I am
Right.
an attractor. So, and now we can go home. Conversation done.
Okay, bye, Hilda. Bye, everyone. We'll leave it at that.
I'm gonna leave it right at that.
Homework for all of us.
Mhm. Over. What does your community look like now?
Yeah, I
But you were
think
going to say,
I just feel that it's a very root chakra thing, by the way, right? Community, tribal mentality. There's nothing wrong with it. I think most people actually subscribe to it. Um, but that's also a breeding ground for abuse and exploitation and all of that circus, right? So I think when you say that, I don't know the exact words you said, I forgot, but then what I think is that if you can somehow get out of your boxes and relate to the other person as a human, I think that's what community means to me. It does not need to be your blood. It does not need to be your color, your gender, the way they look, the way they talk. It's just you feel so raw at some point. That's how you relate to the other person, I think, and that's what we're talking about here. We're not talking about how it looks like in 3D, because
right,
that puts us in boxes, and we know how that goes, and that's where we are right now as a collective. Those boxes hinder us and seclude us, especially, for example, what Hilda is going through. When there's a calamity or there's an larger issue, we don't know how to handle it because we are so dependent on outside systems and structures which are heavy. You don't have any control over them. If today I tell you I don't like the government, can I do that? Can I change that? But
right,
what I can do is I can show up for people. We can, troubleshoot the problem together. We can find solutions together. We can do something about it. That's what community really means. It's about the power of coming together, the power of choice. It's about, like, when you start in the beginning, it's about that inner leadership. If you have if you can lead your life, you can actually show up as a better community member as well, I feel like. But if you don't do that, you'll wait for someone else to do that for you.
Absolutely. You know, I was thinking because we was talking about you had mentioned about how we cannot allow our biases, and we have them. And I think that as
We
your
have them.
community changes and it's changing, I was just thinking like my community, how much it has changed, and just to be uh, to show you how much my community changed. There is a lot of immigrants, and that have came into my area, and East Indian actually immigrants that are in my area, and what I am seeing inside of my area and abroad. When I say my area, I'm talking about the area that I live in and abroad. Folk aren't handling that so well. Folk aren't handling that so well, and I would say that perhaps maybe that is on both sides, the integrated as well as the
Yeah.
people that are here. And in fact, what you are seeing is people's biases, what people
Yeah.
are really, really feeling, and also the resistance of change too that
Yes.
exists inside of us, because rapidly things are changing, and that's creating feelings inside of people that they may have not ever really had a chance to process, but they're being made to
Right.
process those feelings, and it's being done in more of a public stance.
Well,
So I don't know where I was going with that, but when I thought about what you were saying, I was thinking, oh hell yeah, things have
well,
definitely changed.
it's normal. It's first of all, it's normal to have that time of integration, right? It's gonna be it's not gonna look cute. Let's just say that. Uh, it's gonna be uncomfortable, ugly because our biases are in our head, right? So it takes time to sort it out. But I think if our ultimate goal is to get through it and to not just get through it, but then actually make our world a little bit better, I think we can get through our biases. It's not that we are built for it. I just want to say that we are very adaptable. Humans are very adaptable. Yes, based on our conditioning, we will be challenged, but
We are being
that's a
forced
good challenge.
we
Yeah,
are being forced to
yeah,
face these
that's what
issues,
happens when,
especially all these differences that we think that are existing. The mask as
yeah,
well is being dropped on that one. That all
yeah.
the areas of in which we were told that we were that mask
Mm,
is dropping,
mm.
and
It
so
has to. It's
you're
it's just so rigid and heavy for no reason. We are carrying all of these burdens with us, which are not even ours. We didn't choose them. People chose them for us, and we're just carrying on that mentality. Like, I'll just give you a small example. Like, I love to watch different types of cultural
Mhm.
dramas or movies. I don't care. It's about the story is what matters to me, and it's really interesting for me to see different cultures and what they do and how they live and all of that. So I actually not encouraged. I'm sorry. I'm a little bit tired too, so just
That's
bear with me.
okay.
I basically showed is not the right word, but um waiting for it. Okay, I showed my mom like the really nice South Korean dramas as well, and I know her taste, so I recommended her to watch it. Recommended
Right.
was the word. Recommended. And when I showed her, I turned on I recommended one of them, and we started watching together. You know what she said? She's like, "They all look the same to me. They look so weird, and what are they talking like? How are they talking like? That is so weird." And then my dad came, and he's like, "You see how uncomfortable we feel? And it's normal. Let's just say I just want to mention that it's normal when you are shown something that is different from how you were raised. It's really normal. And I just told her, give it time, experience it, and then you can come up with a decision. But you can't just run away when you see something uncomfortable. That's not,
Right.
And then she sat with me and she watched a couple episodes and she's like, these are really nice. This is exactly what I like. I'm like, see, don't know their language. You don't know how to look like, but like, that's the whole point. Human. You have to look at other person
Right.
as a human, not how they look, not how it doesn't matter, does it?
Right.
If you really want to understand them, you will give them a chance.
Right.
And then my father came. See how my father reacted. He was so annoyed. He was like, "Why are you watching this? You should watch our culture." I'm like, "Hey, you'll read Gurbani. So what do you think? Didn't God make them too? So like." And he's like, "No, but like, how do they look? I don't get it." I'm like, "That doesn't matter. Did you give it time?" And then he was like, it's like people do get uncomfortable, and it's normal. It's okay, but don't run away at the first sign of discomfort. Is what I'm saying. It's very
And
normal.
I just want to say that some of those biases, a lot of those biases are bred. They are bred through media. They are bred through laws, unfair laws.
Mm,
Um,
yes.
and I'm going to say unfair immigration laws. So that creates a pitting off. You have
Yes.
extremes presented on both ends, and how they are dealt with is
Mm,
extreme on both ends. So that is I think the powers to be, that is their angle and that is their aim, to create the division, to
yeah.
create the separation as opposed to the coming together. But I don't want to stay long on that. I want to get on to the
But
next question.
I
Okay,
just
no, no,
want to
go
add
ahead.
there. I just want to add that we again have to remember who is making those decisions. It's people like us. It's people like us. So you have to question their judgment. You should question their judgment. Do your research, do your due research, experience thing, and then make a judgment. Don't just accept whatever you're fed. That's
Right,
another person's
right,
judgment. Even
right,
if it's newspaper, whatever it is some random person's judgment at the end of the day, just who's just a person like us.
right,
So it
right.
doesn't matter, does it?
Exactly, exactly. And now she loves it. See, but she would have never known if she hadn't allowed herself to be open to the process. Which I want to say that a part of that healthy openness is allowing yourself to experience the whole feelings of whatever the awkward feeling. Ooh, this does not actually resonate with me right now, but this is what does. That's how we do the
Yes.
selective process, really.
Yes.
But when it comes to
Yes.
certain things, we don't allow ourselves to go through that full process because guess what? If we had to really examine and look at it, we might not look at ourselves in such a favorable way in seconds, because it is a second process, but we'll just cut it. But anyways, am I
Yeah.
making sense? I
Okay.
hope I did. Don't want to lose it. Does
Okay.
your community hold your values? And what would you consider to be your community, coming from your perspective?
I think for me, cookie cutter community, I don't want it. So I am more of that. I feel like ultimately it's all about people who are like you will somehow get it, you know, and I feel like I'm not saying that you should go out and don't reach out to people, but then um, right now
Exactly.
I don't have that. Right now I am very much in a phase where I'm trying to figure myself out. So even if I try something, I know that, it might not be what I want. So I'm just trying to take it easy and just roll with. I found you, for example. So that's what I mean. Like, you will attract people. So I guess online community is one way, I guess, I'm building my community
I thoroughly
right now.
agree. I'm right there with you, and um this is a part of the building, and for me,
Yeah.
and uh, as well honoring myself or honoring my own
Honoring
autonomy,
myself.
allowing myself to go through the process, but
Right.
feeling the need to start the conversation because I know that this will not be the space that I'm going to be remaining in. However, this is the space to be in to start having those conversations because the shift of
Yeah.
change is upon us. But I want to go into the chat because we did ask the question, and I want to just see what everyone is set up to this point because I don't want to go too far ahead. And then what happens is,
We lose the context, right?
right, um, what the, I'm 11. Allison, Harton, Morton, Ayo. Okay, so if you're 11 years old, I need you to leave the chat because you know what? This is not the chat for you. This is an adult conversation. This video was for over 18. Allison, thank you. Thank you. So, and that's as simple as that. Like when you realize that you're not in the right space, it's called exit. Why do people just not exit? Anyways, people like drama too. But you come to the right place. I can tell you that right now because I can stir it up and mix it up, and I'll tell you, I'll serve it right back to you, just like soup. But we're not going to do that today.
Hi, Hockey
Hello,
Channel.
Hilden Ravneet.
Oh,
And now I loved. Okay, yeah, we already said that. Yes, Hilda, you are right. Hi, Francesca.
hi,
Hello.
Francesca.
Francesca, I do not know if you are in the same space, and I don't even know if you're the same one, Francesca. Hello. But if you are the Francesca who is from Italy, and I'll leave it at that. And you are 13 years old, baby girl. This is an adult space. So I'm the
I'm the
same.
same.
Okay. I thought that you might be the same. As much as I appreciate you showing up, this is an adult live. And I appreciate the fact that you did tell me what your age is. And I'm going to start my lives now by telling folks that these are adult conversations. And so I'm going to ask that you exit the live, sweetheart, because as I said, there will be content here that I personally uh, don't feel that I should be expressing and talking about. Okay, I'm the same. It's okay. Okay, so I'm just going to ask that you exit the live. Okay,
Bye, Francesca.
bye, Francesca. And I'm going to tell you, I think that what this is telling me is
Mm,
that because this has been something that's been laid upon my spirit because I've had some young people show up in my chats, and I think that they are is equally important. And not only that, but they have some of their own thoughts and they have their own ideas, which are is equally important. And so there is a need maybe to start something on that level. So you know, Francesca, hit me up in my uh,
email.
email. There's an email into the description box of my channel. And, maybe you and I could get something started there because I love the fact that your spirit showed up. But as I said, this is for adults, and maybe we could create a conversation for people that are of your age. and letting folks know where you're at mentally from this, where you're coming from mentally. But for now, I appreciate the exit. Anyways, but so definitely hit me up in my email. Okay? I would really like that because I don't like asking you to leave yet. I would open up Pandora's box to everyone, and that's not a good thing. So, um, I was asking the question and I forgot. Did you answer the question?
I think we did talk about it,
Hmm.
right? You wanted to ask
What are
something.
the things that currently connect you to your community? What things right now do connect you to your, and you just expressed that, my community is kind of
Right.
different.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I have gotten trapped into that community box. I'll just say that. Because if it's coming from a space of low self-worth, if it's coming from a place of childhood wounds, I think you can get caught up in really bad situations. So I'm learning first to from before I actually go out and seek community. So I'll just say right now online community is what I have. And I'm actually pretty satisfied with that for now. But you
Yes.
know, time
Hmm.
changes. Time changes.
Hmm. Hmm. That
So
that would be me.
yeah.
My community is I would say more online. And I do consider this to be a community. That's a part of the
Yeah.
building of this channel is to
Yes.
create a community that just happens to be a community that's worldwide, worldwide community,
Right.
and you know, um, yeah. So this is my community. What are sub communities and what are their benefits? So basically, we just talked about a sub community, and that being, our channels. That is a form of a community. But what other
Okay.
sub communities would you say that you might belong to? Like work is a sub community. Family.
So that's it's not like I am a psychologist, but like that I think I'm all over the place.
Well,
So
no, I think you're good. No, you're giving good examples of what a community actually looks like. We don't actually think community in terms of community when we think of that, but I say they're good because when I actually was looking for my thumbnail, picture thumbnail, and I did the Pinterest thing, all these different examples of community came up. I said, "Oh well, thank you for the topic idea because I wasn't even thinking along that line." So all these things you just brought up, yes, they are sub communities, and they fulfill a need, some sort of need. All these little
Yes.
communities, um,
Yes.
and you know, uh, so I can definitely say that these communities are part of your social. And
Yes.
what is the reference of what would you say the level of importance to each of them is? Not saying that they all carry the same level of importance, but for the ones that carry a level of importance, why is it? that they carry the level of importance?
Mm, I like that question because it's really out of the box. So I think for me, it's like to get new ideas to challenge my mind is really important to me. Um, so that's why I like reading books. That's what I use divination for, to challenge my mind, um, to grow. Um, so that's really important to me. Nature is very important to me. Mm, what else? I'm very much into health as well, like cooking. It's something that I'm very invested in. I'm not very invested in my work, but I still do the best in whatever I do.
Mhm.
So if I'm working, I'll give my best. Um, whatever I do, I try to do. So, but this is majority that the communities that I talked about, I'm very invested in it, um, like regularly. I want to hear from you now, and people in the chat, like
And the people
especially.
in that, yeah. In the meantime, while I'm
So,
answering, maybe you could tell me what is a community that chat for the people in the chat. Tell me a community, a sub community that you belong to and why. Just in a few words, the community, sub community you belong to and why. And for me, this is definitely that sub community for me. And if you want to talk subscribing to different channels and becoming
mm,
a part of their community, um, uh, and I do it because it not only does it nurture my soul, it provides enlightenment. It makes
mm,
me do research. It aligns with my core
mm,
values. So it's a way for me to line up with people who are
yeah.
thinking like me. And
Hmm.
dear God, if it wasn't for this community, and I will say it, I wouldn't have met you. And if I wouldn't
Right.
have met you, and if I wouldn't have met Atlanta, and I'm going to say that because you two in especially the Chiro, you two both always had cards in your hands, and you're always. But you know what? That really brought that out of me because it was something that you know
Mm,
what. Um, I had my Chiro cards, and I would go to them sometimes and leave them, but you really opened up you opened up Pandora's box, is what you did. And I like it because, you would say, this provides me with therapy. This is such good therapy for me. And you know what? I find myself saying, this is good therapy for me. So thank you, Spirit. And Spirit's thanking you too, because they said, you know what, her ass should have been at those cards a long time ago. She keeps putting shit off. Anyways, I do too, especially
I
sometimes spiritual.
agree. Online
Put something.
community definitely um is another one. I think I'm sorry I missed that. Online community, if I didn't mention, definitely has a big part in because I switch communities like as I grow and I realize, but then you have to first see what works for you, what doesn't work for you, right? And then you keep evolving.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of it. That's even online presence. Um, so absolutely. I've met some really beautiful people here and I've learned from, and it's interesting because I think that's the way we live these days. It's like that's our major source of forming connections because we don't have that in the physical world very much.
Mm.
So I understand where that's coming from, but
It's
it's a
becoming
definitely
it certainly is becoming easier. And what do I
it's
mean by
becoming
that?
easier.
I think it's becoming easier because we're learning how to navigate those relationships. We're learning how to put the boundaries into place that need to be there. And what do I mean? Because you are learning, you're meeting people
Yes.
oftentimes that, you know what? when you say that you're
Yeah.
truly getting to know them, and when you get past all the love and the light and all that good stuff, there is life, and you really do take the time when
Yeah.
that relationship is in place. And it's a very human experience, and that's what makes it so beautiful at the end of the day. Or not so beautiful, because it can be a human
Right.
learning experience too, but
I've
nonetheless,
learned a lot and I've enjoyed too, so it's just part of the experience, I think.
it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Um,
Okay.
what are okay, no. What are some of the I already asked that question and you already answered it, so you're just going through these so well. And I'm so glad it was you because you know what? If it had been me, I was doing these questions and I was thinking, I have to think about some of these questions too. I was thinking about them as I do because no, the reason why I'm doing this is
Right.
because we can become so listen, when you tell folk I like my bed, you're right. I like my bed. I like my bed and I like my bed at a certain time. We can become very complacent or we can
Yes.
become very uh just very happy with the way that things are. And I'm sorry that does not work. That is not going to work with the change, the great change that's upon us. So
Yeah.
a part of this for me is being uncomfortable and being okay with being uncomfortable until we get to that comfortable place. That's it. Keep having the conversation until it starts to look like something. When we can start to see that community that we really want. But it has to start with a conversation and with
Right.
questions that, you know what, are uncomfortable. What, okay, why do you remain in each of these communities? Like, or why do you remain in your community? So, and why do you remain in all these other sub communities that you may belong to?
I love that question too. I think I kind of did I touch on that? Um, why? I think I'm a very intentional person, so I like to um I know what I want, I think.
Right.
That's the thing.
Hmm.
And mm, when I see something, I can see if I want it or not.
Right.
And if I see something that do work, I am not going to let that go. Let's say that. So there's a lot of hidden trial behind what I do. And I have tried a lot of other things which did not
Right.
work, right? So they're just different parts of me that sometimes I like to be in nature because I can just relax and just be, and I don't have to perform and I don't have to prove anything. Um, or when I do tarot or I read books, it's a mental stimulation. It's a world I can go into um, and explore, and it's almost like you shape shift into that. And I think
Right.
that's what tarot and different decks do that. There are different artworks and they make you feel a certain way and then they let you see things a certain way, which I guess sometimes we are not that creative or limited, very limited in our physical world, you know? Not everyone can go out and travel at the whim, at a whim, right? So it's just certain ways to, and I think it's really important for me to stay centered. So I have tried things like emotional eating or like watching too much TV. So, and that just did not work because I would lose myself in the process. But then that's what I'm saying. Like the things that I do them because they, at the end of the day, help me bring back to myself. They keep me centered, they keep me focused, and they relax me some in certain way. Of course, not every community is relaxing, and that's where the work is. That's where we need to see why are you not feeling relaxed or why you feel out of center, right? And that's the work that we keep doing,
Right.
where we are like, we question, then we question the communities we are in, we question the people we hang out with, we question our belief systems, our thought process, because sometimes it's not the other person, sometimes it's you,
I was going to
you
say
know?
that, this is an individual, and
It
this
is
is
an individual.
and it's an individual exploration because when I thinking about
Yes.
myself, and I'm thinking this is going to be challenging for me tonight's discussion because um,
Yeah.
when I tell you I'm a lone wolf, I'm a lone wolf for a reason. Not that I don't love people. Obviously, I love people.
Right.
Obviously, I love to engage with people, but I want to do it when I want to do it. And it's just not always that way. Also, I don't like making these standing commitments. So on every Friday, we're going to do this. Or what do I mean? Other than this is a different form of a commitment. But for instance, I was doing karaoke, and the gals, listen, good group of gals, fun. We had many, many laughs, but it's not something that I wanted to. Uh, I didn't want
Pursue.
to
Yeah.
be karaoke every Saturday or Friday night girl because that's
Right.
just not who I am. That is not. I don't like the commit. I don't even know how I'm going to feel. That's another reason why my
Mm.
process to when it comes to committing to anything too strong to anything inside the communities that I live in, I don't make big commitments because I don't know how I'm going to feel. So when it comes to engaging, people usually want a commitment. So then I have to ask myself, remaining authentic to myself, honoring my core, and yet um
Yeah.
uh how do I do that and still be a part? Because
Mm.
inclusiveness, I understand the importance of that. At the end of the day, um, my peace will always rank over uh, inclusiveness. I'll pick
Mm.
my peace every time, every time. Now I will pick my
Yeah.
peace. I don't like it when I don't pick my peace.
Yeah. It's interesting what you said. Because reflecting back, most of my hobbies are very, like, I don't need anyone, I guess, to do that for me. It's like I have learned how to take care of myself and take care of my own needs and desires. Um, but I hear you. I think
But then you get lonely sometimes.
it
And
does.
what do I mean? There's
Mm.
sometimes I would like to
Right,
um, um,
right.
spend time with someone. There's sometimes you want to have that conversation. And does that, you know, but you just don't necessarily pick people out of the box like that. Okay, now I want somebody. No, I don't. No, I do. No, I don't.
I think eventually as we evolve, I see that coming. I see people choosing experiences and I do that already. Like if I want to travel, I'm just gonna book something. I'm gonna
Yeah.
find people that also want to travel and I go and travel with them. You know what I mean? It's like autonomy, I think, is the future. We're not gonna just stick to other people because we have history. I don't see that. And I think it's a good thing. It's because at the end of the day, community is to help you be yourself more,
And I
right?
feel that we are going to get to the place of reason, season, lifetime. We're not going to be holding on to all
No,
these relationships
it's
with
happening
that
already.
thought process. It is. It is.
It's
It
happening
is when
already.
you
Like
honor yourself. Yeah.
people didn't used to have so many divorces
Right.
before. And of course, there is a gray side to that too. I'm not talking about it. I'm just saying that the power of not power, but like the choice of moving on was not very much there in the past, but now we do,
Right,
and people have started to question commitments. Of course, there's a gray side to it because people sometimes can misuse that too. We can start using people. We can run away at the first sign of discomfort, and that's the discernment. That's where discernment comes. And I'm questioning myself too in the process, right? Where it's like, am I just running away from commitment?
right,
Right? Because
right,
sometimes we can do that because
right.
something really bad happened with us and we are almost
Yep,
not even scared of healthy commitment. And that's something that we need to question ourselves. That
right.
I don't see, well, I don't think that's healthy.
No,
I've started to question that too, but that's because we're scared of getting hurt again, right?
because you're going to build anything, whether it's inside your community, whether it's a personal relationship, you do have to make a commitment to the building
Yes.
process. And I don't want folks to think that I'm that flaky, that I don't do that process, because that's a very necessary process. But I am not trying to build a commitment with every person that I come across, or in the social engagements. So I
I,
usually like to
yeah.
be the I like to be able to walk in, walk out. Now that's different if you are building upon a relationship. You know, you're taking more than your feelings into mind
Mm.
when making decisions.
Well, I think it is kind of complicated because we are programmed too. We are programmed that, oh, this is your person. So people are attached at the hip, literally. Well, I don't like
Yeah,
to use that word, but you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
to
yes,
me, that is like, well, everybody to their own. But like, I see that, especially in my culture, a lot of codependency, a lot of our childhood issues then come up in our relationship, and we think that's love when it's sometimes it's trauma bonding, sometimes it's codependency, sometimes it's like fear of like abandonment issues. Like there's just a lot going on. So I think it's
yeah,
a beautiful umbrella to hide away all your shit,
right.
is what I would say. But that's where our inner work comes. Um, where we need to understand, are we using community to escape, are we using
Mm.
community to feel a sense of belonging because we don't feel belonged, why are we seeking, so I don't think there's any problem with community or humans or any experience actually, but where are we coming from and what are we seeking?
I will make a point, because you make that's a good point. How are we using community? Because I can tell you, when I was going out every Saturday to go listen to a live band, I would go to listen to this matinee every Saturday.
Mm,
Oftentimes, there might be some new people there, but oftentimes the same people, because they like the same spot, same thing. I wasn't investing. Almost every week, I can tell you, girl, I was asking, "What's your name?" They'd say to me, "Well, you asked me that before, so if you're really investing, you're not asking people what their name is." I was thinking, like, I don't know, 8 years, girl, and I'm still asking somebody what their name is. I ain't gonna lie. Now, many of them knew my name, but I can guarantee you there was very few within that 8 years, because I didn't
mm,
make the investment. I wasn't trying to make the investment. I was using that establishment as my escape,
mm.
or my, you know what I mean? Whatever. And I guess it's an escape. It was an escape. Hello, whoever. You
It's
know what?
Alana.
Hi, Alana. Hi, lady.
Welcome.
Sorry for my late join. Well, it's not that you're late. You're here. That's a good thing.
Exactly.
No matter how, you're here. And what do I just do? Okay.
I
Now,
think that's why people are scared of women who think, because behind what we do, there has to be an angle of discernment. There has to be an angle of self inquiry. If you just do something because others are doing, it's not gonna it's not it might work, but it's just a hidden trial. So I don't know. Like what we have just accepted most of these structures, and that's why we feel suffocated now, and that's why we need alcohol, and that's why we need addictions, and that's why we need all of the coping mechanisms because someone chose these structures and we're just following them.
Yes. Yes. I
Right.
agree. I agree.
And then we
And
think like drinking is normal, so everyone should drink. Maybe you don't enjoy drinking. Maybe that's not your way of socializing with others. Maybe you like to talk about books. I'm just saying. How will you know that if you don't self inquire?
here's what I found is that, and I'll just use, because as you say, I can only use myself as an example, and I am using myself as an example here. When I think about going out to that bar, and my friend that I used to go out with every
Yeah.
Saturday, every Saturday. Well, I say every Saturday. It wasn't actually every Saturday, but it was almost like every Saturday. If we missed one, it was a reason. Either she had to work or I had to work on that Saturday. So that was the only reason why we was missing it. But my whole point being is this: that friendship, that was the basis. We didn't do that solid in-depth stuff. Maybe we talked about problems, but we weren't doing that big inner work. Everything was built for Saturday. You know what I mean? What were we gonna wear? All of that. And no relationship, even 8 years in, is going to last if you don't start putting some depth and you don't figure out what else do you have in common. Because when the relationship really started to dissolve between me and that friend, not that she was a bad person, it was because my interests had started to change. I did want to
Mm,
tap into doing other things other than, and going out
mm,
had stopped being one of those things. So you make a very good point about how we just go along to go along. And for her, she was feeling like she was probably losing more than just her going out buddy. She was losing her good friend because that's what her
mm,
basis
mm.
of solid friendship had
Looks like,
impacted.
yeah.
That's it.
And it's interesting that, the way I see it as like you can, or we are either programmed so much to follow
She's
people
probably
around
one of the
us.
people that's watching me too from the back. I will tell you that. She's sending not lots of evil eyes. I don't know what spirit made me say that, but you know what? There was a reason why I said it. Hello. I just want to say that. Sorry, baby girl. Cut you right off. But I had to say it.
I think you have to understand that at the end of the day, we all have a choice. And that's not what I wanted to say. I wanted to say, and I'm trying to, it's almost like we have to learn how to come back to ourselves and then decide. It's like either you become the leader or the people around are going to tell you what to do.
Yeah.
And it's a skill, just like, or a habit rather, I'll say a skill of developing that skill set where you come back to yourself and you ask yourself, develop a relationship with yourself. Hey, what do you think? Should I do this? Do you think
Mm.
I should go here? Rather than what do people think? What does she think? What does he think? What do my parents think? What do you know, my girlfriends think, or whatever it is? It's developing a skill set. It means you need to spend time with yourself rather than going out with, well, I'm just saying it takes developing a relationship with yourself so that you do not automatically do what everyone else is doing. And that's what is happening. It's almost like we are trained that herd mentality is built on this.
You
Never
know,
question it. Never question it. The
never
schools,
question it.
the teachers are right, the schools are right, the systems are right. Pay the tax money, do this, do that, do this, do that. And we have been doing that all our lives. So how do you
And
think can we do that in our personal relationship? We have been doing that all the time since our childhood.
because it's a form of people pleasing. When I sit back
It
there and I think
is
about every time I went through,
it is
I didn't
people
want to go at the
pleasing.
time. Trust me, every single one of those times, I remember the many times, you know what? Uh, I won't say begging. She didn't beg me to go out, but yes, it was. It was begging me sometimes, and then I would say yes, and that was to please her, and I was not
Mm,
pleasing myself. And
right.
you do that enough,
Yes.
and then eventually you say, "No, I'm going to honor myself." And you know what? It's just better that I don't go out. It's not that it's bad. It's just that it just not does not work for me anymore. And then I also want to say this: there was a good many times Hilda went in and loved it, and you
Of
couldn't have kept me
course.
home.
Of course. It's not like the things you do at whatever time you did made sense at that point,
Right,
and you honor
right,
that, and it's okay. We are not judging that. We're not judging these people either. We're not judging anyone here. It's a very personal choice at the end of the day, how you
right.
want to live your life and what does your soul purpose look like. Go ahead, and I think Alana has a
Yes, most relationships these days are rather superficial. I am a person with depth, and I equally respect and appreciate interacting with others that have depth too. Not afraid to be authentic. Yeah, well, I think it takes the time to get. Not everybody's acting from that place of authenticity. Most people aren't acting from the place of authenticity. If you have not done your inner work in your work, you are coming into relationships from a completely different. You're not honoring yourself, and you're not coming from the authentic place. Today, maybe you are, uh, uh,
yeah.
but I can't say that I was always coming from that authentic place. I may have thought that I was, but looking back and not honoring myself often, no, I wasn't. It all comes down to personal inner shadow work. Yes, it does. Being able to use our throat chakras. True, true. At the end of the day, it starts out with a no. Nope, I don't feel like it. No, I don't want to.
I
No,
think
I
in
don't care about how you feel.
today's Yeah, I think in today's world we are so distracted, and of course that's how these big companies are making money, right? They want us to be distracted. Nothing is free. I always tell my parents, I'm like, nothing is free. You think
No.
WhatsApp is free?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Nothing is free. They use our data, they use whatever we're talking about. Everything is recorded so that they can make more money. Okay.
Right.
But we don't understand our time is important. And that's what I don't even know where I was going with there, but I had a point. I forgot.
That's okay. You're still there.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. What were you talking about before?
No, we were just talking about, what, honoring yourself, and actually, when
Oh
you
yeah,
realize that
yeah,
you actually, when you
yeah.
start to say no, and
Mm.
someone, Susie was talking about the throat chakra and using your throat
Yes.
chakra.
Yes, 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 yes. Got it, got it, got it. Thanks. So what I was saying was we can see the impact of the collective conditioning, I will say, right? How? The amount of heart attacks we get these days, we didn't used to get these many before.
No.
The amount of autoimmune diseases women have, not at this scale. Why only women? Question, right?
Yeah.
Um, it's like we can literally see, I don't like to use this word, we can see the side effects of the conditioning on ourselves in our bodies right away. The amount
Yes,
of facial hair women get, it is
yes,
insane to me.
yes.
Why? Because and that's why we need to do the inner work. We need to do the self-inquiry and be accountable for our soul and what our soul wants to do in this world and live in integrity, because that's the only way we can be ourselves, be healthy, because that's what we are made for. But it
Because
requires doing the inner inquiry. No one can do that for you.
exactly, because what you are not processing, trust me, your body is. It may not be
Your body
processing it
is.
the way that you
So,
want to. What you're not dealing with, the body
exactly.
is, whether you want to.
Exactly. That's what I was trying to say, but thank you. Exactly. It's like the
Uh
truth.
chakras, you mean. I am so shocked by your comment.
It's
What do
she's
you
just
mean?
playing. It's just a spelling. Okay, ignore.
Oh,
But it's like they're talking with themselves.
oh,
Okay, so that's what I was trying to say. That the truth, you cannot hide the truth. It's gonna show up anyways. It's gonna show up in our bodies. We're not gonna be fully available emotionally for people in our lives. Our relationships are affected. Our professional life is affected. Our way of living is affected. Our everything is affected
it's so
because
true.
of this. So might
So
as
true.
well take the time to do the inner work, like Susie was mentioning. Do the inner work. Do the shadow work. Shadow, because most of these are hidden parts of us, the unacceptable parts of us that need to be looked at, need to be honored, right? So then we can move forward. I think we're not here
And
to
it's
just,
freeing. It
we're
is
not here to,
freeing.
yeah, it is
It's
freeing.
freeing.
And
You keep going. I keep cutting you off. I'm sorry, baby girl.
oh no, you don't. I just keep rumbling, but it's like, it again goes back to the same thing. We are all making a choice anyways. Are we making it consciously, or is it programming? Is it
Yeah.
someone else's choice? We are making a choice anyways. When we choose to abandon ourselves, that's a choice too. When we choose to people please, that's a choice too. When we choose to um don't show up for ourselves, that's a choice too. So we're making a
Mhm.
choice anyways. Might as well learn how to make a better choice, right?
And
And that's how we then
you
make
won't
better
go about
community.
making all these choices if you are paying attention to how you feel. If you are
You can.
connecting with how you feel when you go to making these choices, you won't be making choices all over the map. That's if you're connecting to how you feel and honoring how you feel. Because if you honor how you feel, the choice will be, I bet
Yep.
you 9 out of 10 times it's gonna be something different than the choice you would have made before honoring how you really feel. No worries, Atlanta. Okay. I meant okay, yeah. They're just having trouble. So are we ready for the next question?
Yeah.
Okay. What could you create as a tool or recreation to help bring your community together?
Oh, I love your questions.
I do
Wow.
too. I'm just
Hilda.
glad you're on the other end.
Um, oh, Alana is asking what's the next question. Um,
I'll repeat it. What could you create as a tool or recreation to help bring your community together?
I think I would space where people can um feel free to um show up as they are, and not like you need to mother them or anything. It's just a space where they can, for example, share how they're honoring themselves, something like that. Oh, little things, little choices that you make every day, um, to make this world a better place,
I
I
think you're
think.
already doing it too in some
I
aspects, or you
know,
started to
I
do
know.
it because you do something with your channel every day that, you know what, I notice it gets traction because it tracks me to it. And that's your
Mhm.
little sayings and memes that start the day. Like that's something you're giving back to the
Right,
community and abroad. Or I think,
right. Yeah, I think it's important for, important, again, is a heavy word, but I think it's a give and take. If we always keep taking from the universe, from nature, from everything, and we don't give back anything, I think it's important, or it's healthy rather, to give back something
yes,
to the
yes,
community where you honor yourself, don't deplete yourself, see
yes,
what works for you.
yes.
It can look different for everyone, right? But I think it is heart opening to give back something to the
Absa,
community in some
absa,
way. You don't do
absolutely.
that, and you don't do that for others. You do that for yourself, by the way.
Yes, the law of exchange. That is what keeps it flowing and going. And that's what keeps your blessings coming too. And if you are experiencing a blessings block, it might be
Mm,
because there needs to be more of an exchange. I'm just saying. And yeah, that exchange, I want to say, is it's not always something that is tangible. Maybe
no.
it is your words, because I think we can get caught up into this material world where we think that it's always something physical. It isn't. Maybe your presence, being fully present and bringing your presence when you are in front of
Yes.
people, not half yourself, but your full self. When you're really, if you've got that listening ear that you are bringing to somebody, that's bringing something to your community anyways, or
Right.
to the people that are around you, because not everybody's listening, not everybody's paying attention, and many are still performing. So
Right. I think, but at your level, what you can do, be it tangible or not, um, I think it's just something. And there's a concept called seva in the faith I'm from,
yes,
and it has always been really interesting to me because the point of that was that, the guru said, first you need to eat, then we are going to talk about
mm,
spiritual matters. First, your human needs need to be met.
yes,
So even when someone important came to meet him, he would say, no, you got to eat first. And the food would be prepared by the whole community. Um, the money that came from the community, from every person, um, and they would prepare it together and they would sit on the floor. No one was given special treatment, and they would eat humbly sitting on the floor as an equal. And then they would have a conversation or whatever, like we are having conversations. And I think that's another way. If you and it's so unique. Like, see what works for you. Some people like to make food at home and go and feed people that need it or give food to them, right? I think it's just keeps us open, open for life's blessings and open for life.
do you
It's
know
important.
one of the things I did when I came home? I was always trying to bring people back together. Like, I realized that, in terms of, I left here, there was a community. I came back home, it didn't seem like there was one. Or what was existing of
Mm,
one was just a figment of the imagination. And so
Mm.
There is a part of me that is an entertainer. I used to be very much an entertainer. Not so much these days, just because of the energy and the climate and all of that, but very much I am an entertainer. I like to have people in and gather people together. But I would do these gatherings and I would make it a point to get each person to bring a dish. Number one, it was going to make them invested. Number two,
Mm.
they were going to bring some.
Those you? Can you guys hear me or Hilda? Mm.
Maybe I left the
Hello?
stream. I left the stream. I thought it was you. It was saying, you know what, do you want to end this or do you want to keep coming back? I was just sitting here rambling on saying Revneek left the live stream and, you know, it's me. I'm sitting up here just talking to myself. Well, I am sorry, folk. Now, there, that shows you just how on point that I am. But what I was basically saying, I've even forgot my own point now, but I had some really, really good points. But what were we talking about? We were talking
Hilda.
about what's that?
So I think your video is frozen.
Is it? Okay. Here's what I'll do.
I think you're
Is it still frozen?
I see, but people in the chat, can you comment?
Okay. Oh no, we can't hear you now. You can't hear me? Okay, I'm gonna exit and come back in. Okay, let me do that.
The live will end if you
No, I don't want to
exit.
do that. I don't want to. I don't want to do that if I exit.
Just turn off video and then turn on.
Okay, maybe I'll do that. How is that? Can you hear me now, folks? Or am I still put in the chat and you can hear me? No, but it is quite glitchy. I don't even understand why it's glitching at this particular point, other than the fact we have wind, a lot of wind here today.
I
I
think
don't know.
your mic turned off or something.
Did it? No, my mic's still on. My mic is on.
Is it me or Hilda?
What's that?
Is it me or Hilda? I'm asking people.
Yeah, but barely. Alana says, but barely. Audio not clear. Has it been that way or did it just start? Because I'm not really sure. Because I can hear you really, really well. And Revneet is glitch. It's etchy. Well, I don't know. We are almost nearing our end. I'm not sure. I don't know what to tell you. I know that my mic is on because my light is lit up. And,
How
but
about now?
can you hear? Are we still glitching? I don't want to exit and then you know what? I don't want to like
Just started.
huh?
Just started.
Just started. Oh, it just started.
So I
Okay.
get the glitch just started.
Maybe they don't like what we're saying. We're gonna push through this and just bear with us and hopefully it clears up. Cause I'm gonna ask one more question. Well, I had a couple of
How
more
about
questions.
now?
I heard a feedback. I heard you feedback. That's all right. You know what? Listen, this is half the fun. Feedback. Yes, there is feedback. Why is this happening,
Hi.
everyone? I don't know. You know what? I'm going to tell you. Sometimes they do not like these messages. As I said, we are being watched. When you want to create any change that comes drastically from the norm, expect these kind of things, is what I'm going to say. Like, whether there's feedback. Well, thank God we are nearing the end of this live. So, I am going to go and ask the last question, and we'll. Okay, I had two questions, but I'm just going to think about which one. What do you do to raise the vibration in your neighborhood or communities? What do you do personally to raise the vibration?
Keep my vibration high.
Yeah,
And yeah, that's it.
I do too. I know, seriously. Sometimes I'll go into the store, and especially when I feel that the energy is drawing in there. When I say that, I'm talking about my local community store. And you hear that? I hear that too. Um, I will make it a point to um, lift up the spirit. I'm more cognizant on what I'm speaking, and if there's somebody in there that I realize I need to really speak to, then I do, and I so that's what I do when I'm out and about, and I like to bring it wherever I'm at. I can hear that. I can hear it. But nonetheless, so if you got anything more to say, I think we're. I was going to read something, but I'm not going to do that because it'll just not come out at all. So I am going to thank everyone for coming out. Hit the like button, hit the share button. Please share this if you think that somebody can use it. Subscribe if you are just coming by, and hopefully you come by long before this scratching and echoing came into existence. Um, but as we grow this channel, you can be for sure that we are going to have more conversations that are as equally powerfully impacted. So, and having said that, I am going to say peace out because this is probably going to come back real scratchy. Love you, baby girl. Thank you,
Love you
everybody in
too.
the chat.
Thanks, everyone.
Love you all, and thank you, and make
Bye.
a